What's up, everybody? I'm Scott.
I'm Jason.
And welcome to their action-packed half hour of Liquid Kernedge.
So excited to be here, Scotty.
I know, man. Can you feel the energy in the room?
I feel it. I feel the energy. I feel like the energy is going into me, almost like a fantastic energy spirit is just like entering in my body. And
you sound like
me.
one of those infomercials right now. Where you're like, let the energy overflow, feel it flow through.
Well, we
you.
already know that I'm not an infomercial because I don't have the Australian accent.
That's true.
And I don't have the bam or no, he wasn't bam. He was
kaboom.
Kaboom. Yeah.
Either way, though, you're not going to try to get me to order something, and then if I order in the next 10 minutes, get something absolutely free.
I might.
You might. We'll see.
Liquid Kernedge can do a lot of things.
That's true. It's a very versatile show.
And if you go on @Liquid Kernedge on Facebook, you can actually find us and friend us, and then you can find out about all the fun things that we give out on a daily basis.
Which is true. Wait, we're giving out stuff on a daily basis? Because if we are at this point, I need to know so I can enter.
Your memes
Oh, my memes are hilarious.
A gift to the world.
They
buddy.
are a gift to the world.
They are a gift to the world.
I am very funny. I'm not going to lie. I am very funny.
Wow. That is a lot of energy.
Yeah. Well, so much. Okay, so now that the ego stroking portion of the show is done.
Well, it's not done. It's going to be postponed for a little bit.
I'm sure we'll find some other
later,
ways.
Yeah.
We'll find some other ways. So today I've got a fun topic. And we talk about a lot of different things here on the show, and we like to think of ourselves as versatile people. And today I want to go a little bit off the rails.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something that it's always
I'm a little
been,
scared, man.
You should be, and being scared has a lot to do with this. It's. I want to talk about ghosts, man.
Ooh.
We work in a giant building, a giant scary building that's isolated from the rest of the town.
Yes.
And when you're here at night, because sometimes you work late at night. Sometimes I'm here late at night or early in the morning, and you're by yourself, and you hear things that go bump that you can't explain. And man,
so
my mind plays tricks on me.
Okay, so I will say that this topic, it does resonate with me because I am fully in belief of ghosts, in possession, demon-like possessions.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm in full belief of those, so you're not going to be talking to someone who's going to be a disbeliever. So I get little. In fact, my palms are sweating.
I can see the hair on your arms standing up right now. So either you put some hairspray on there, or you were legitimately nervous about this conversation.
Yeah, the ghosts. Okay, all right, let's do it, buddy. I'm ready.
Oh man, so
what was that?
Okay. That's just the air conditioning kicking on.
That's just the air conditioning. Okay, that'll work.
Man, so yeah, I've always been a big believer. Always been a big fan of ghosts. I watch almost every ghost show on TV that's worthwhile. Ever since I was a kid, Scooby-Doo got me started, even though it was just, the janitor.
It was always the janitor, the big rich person who owned the town who wanted to get rid of all the loud kids.
But that's where my fascination got started with it. And then, once the internet came out, it was like a whole new world of ghost stories. You got to hear the local ghost stories. You got to see all the things. And it was so cool to me because you just get to see all the different types of hauntings and all the different kind of just extra worldly things out there in this world, and it freaked me out, man. But it also fascinates me.
Well, what fascinates you about it? Because I can tell you, there's shows out there, these ghost hunters, and the people go in these scary houses and want to talk to the ghosts. I have no interest. I have about as much interest in that as bungee jumping without a bungee, dude.
Yeah, it's funny because I remember the first story my mom told me it was a ghost story. She this big bullshit story about when she grew up in the Bronx, and she and her friend were selling Girl Scout cookies, and they went to this house and this guy bought a whole bunch. Then went back to go bring them to him, and then the house looked like no one's lived there for years. And she told me the story on Halloween. And I didn't quite pick up on the fact it was a Halloween story. My mom's just messing with us.
Hey, you were 7.
I was teen. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, you're right. I was probably a young 7, 8, 9 years old, didn't quite believe it or whatnot. But it kind of got that fascination going. When the internet came out, you can kind of search different ghost stories, and I love haunted towns. I love Oatman and Jerome and Williams. All these towns around here, these small town mining towns in Arizona that are just filled with all these ghost stories. And then just as I've gotten older, I've just had a chance to go explore them. And if I see that, there's a haunted hotel here, or there's a haunted building, I want to go learn about it. I just want to see what they have to say.
So, because with these towns, I'm assuming that the people who are ghosts are dead spirits that have come and lived there in the town, and they are just sticking around.
I would assume so. I mean, I've never had a chance to talk to them. I've never had an experience with them, but I want to learn the history. I want to see what they say. I want to hear the stories.
Well, how do you even communicate to a ghost, though, really? Because they don't speak.
They don't.
They just they're an aura, they're a presence. And we've all heard the stories about people seeing
Yeah.
like little children from old hotels. I remember the Bisbee Hotel in Bisbee, Arizona.
The Copper Queen.
The Copper Queen, yeah. It's haunted.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's supposed to have a couple little kids and a woman who haunt the premises. And the Jerome Hospital. Okay, everyone. We actually had just an incident happen. We were talking about the Jerome Hotel, and you're going to hear a cut in the recording. And this has never happened before. We were talking about ghosts, obviously.
Ghost stories that have happened to us personally.
The recording of the podcast stopped. We've been talking for about 10 minutes after the recording stopped, but the recording has stopped. And I'm not quite sure what happened. I did not press any keys. I didn't touch the computer at all where we're recording this. Scott, go ahead. Tell them your part.
I wish you could see the fear in his eyes, right? Because Jason is genuinely freaked out over this. Because we had gone off about another 10 minutes in our conversation without realizing what happened. But about the time that the recording had stopped, I didn't think much about it, but I did see two quick flashes behind Jason, like very small orb-like things. By our door where we're recording, which is just a very freaky thing. And as most people know that follow these ghost things, the orbs are usually the sign of the energy coming or going. And I do want to preface with the fact that the fear in Jason's eyes and the nerves in Jason right now really, honest to God, show me that this is a freak thing, man. And he is just, he's got goosebumps. And even the hair on my arms are standing up right now.
We recorded about 10 minutes after that, and we had started talking about experiences that we'd had, and we'll get back into that now that we've got the recording going. But to see that it shut down, and I did not stop it, you don't have access to it, so I'm not quite sure what just happened, but once again, this just reaffirms my belief in spirits and ghosts.
Yeah.
And
this is definitely very much a nerve-wracking thing now because we're recording right now. It's very early in the morning. Just be frank. It's early in the morning. We're the only ones in this building, essentially, because no one's shown up yet.
And let's be honest, we are recording at the Wallapai Medical Campus,
Yes,
which is a hospital, and we don't have active patients in our hospital except for some ambulatory functions. But this is a hospital that I'm sure people have passed in.
Yes,
so to feel that energy. And not realize it until I've lost 10 minutes and I didn't do anything, you didn't do anything is just... Anyways, well, maybe it's appropriate that we're talking about ghosts.
Maybe it is. And, you bring up...
So other than this moment, have you ever had an experience with ghosts?
I've had quite a few. They go back to being, when I was 16 years old for almost 20 years now. And, yeah, I'd say my first experience was about 20 years ago.
Okay.
My friends... The family had a house up on the Wallapais, and it was a 2-story house. And there's the main story, and then the bottom story with a bunch of rooms, bedrooms, and the garages. And there was one bedroom in there that was just really, it was just a storage room, and it was so creepy because you couldn't go in there without getting that feeling. You know that feeling I'm talking about, like
the one I'm just experiencing now.
The one you're experiencing now, and. It was in the middle of the summer, and my buddy and I were downstairs playing pool. His grandpa was out in the yard working, and his grandma was upstairs sleeping. And there's a flight of stairs to get downstairs. There's a flight of stairs, a little level, I don't know what you call that, flat,
landing,
a landing, and then another flight of stairs.
Right.
And he and I are sitting there playing pool, and you could hear a little kid running down the stairs. You know how kids run really hard and really fast, stamping their feet down the stairs sometimes. You could hear that. You could hear it run down the stairs and jump on the landing and then run down the stairs and giggle. And I looked at my buddy and I was like, "Did you hear that?" He goes, "Yeah, I did." And we went upstairs and it was still just Granny. And we're like, "All right, well, glad we got to see it. We have to go, man." We went back to where our dads were getting ready for a picnic. But oh my God, man, that freaked me out.
Yeah, I when my father was passing. He was big in Christmas. He loved Christmas, and he had a little bay window in his house, and in the bay window was a little Christmas tree, maybe 3 feet tall, and it was plugged into. It was one of those ones that had lights on it, automatic or built into it, and he had it plugged into a timer, and the timer went off around 10 o'clock every night. It would just go off automatically, and then he would kick it on, 8 o'clock in the morning. It would stay on all day, and then shut down every night at 10. The day that he died, there was an American Indian nurse who was working that night, and they knew that it was pretty close. He had been sick for about 3 weeks, and it was getting close to the end. And so she said, "Well, when he goes, make sure that you open up a window to let his spirit out.
Mm-hmm.
So he died. He died around 8:30, and my mom and I had spent some time with him, just saying our goodbyes, and let us know that you're okay, and let us know that we miss you, and let us know that you're going to be okay. We leave the place around 9 o'clock. We get home about 9:15, and the light on the Christmas tree is out. It's 9:15. We look, and the timer hasn't hit 10 o'clock yet, where the little knob is, but the light has been turned off. And it just told me and reaffirmed to me that, one, my dad was okay. He gave us his little wink that he was going to be okay.
Yeah.
But two, his spirit got out that window and made sure to leave us a little sign. And those kind of things reaffirmed to me that ghosts are I want to say spirits, ghosts, whatever you want to call them, but they're real, man. They are real.
When my great grandma passed, she's 101 years old. She lived by herself for the most part until like the very last month she was around, and she had a very distinct perfume. And she's a very strong-willed woman. And if you've ever met anyone in my family, we're very strong-willed people, which is
that's good though.
A blessing and a curse.
Well, yeah, but that's good though.
But I'll never forget. I was about 22 years old, and my parents were out of town for the weekend. I just moved home from college. And I'm sitting there by myself with the dogs on like a Saturday night watching TV. And I remember like her perfume all of a sudden filled up our family room, just filled it for like a second, almost like she was there, and then it was gone.
Wow. And
it was just the most bizarre. It wasn't a scary feeling, but it was one of those, well, I hope someone believes me that this happened. And, I told my parents when they got back, my dad's not much of a believer because I think that stuff scares him. But my mom was like, yeah, it's probably pretty true.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of people that don't believe in ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
Don't believe in things that go bump in the night or spirits that are out there. I don't try to force anyone to believe or not believe.
No,
I think everyone has. It's a personal experience that you experience that makes it real or doesn't make it real.
Yeah, I agree completely. And I've been told by a few psychics because I've done that a couple times just for fun.
You do psychics?
I in my early 20s. On two separate occasions, I do.
Oh,
and
you ask Noreen, I won't go to. I have not gone to a psychic because I believe in it. So it's like I don't know if I want to hear what the future holds.
What's funny is the both psychics I went to were completely unrelated. Have never met, never knew each other. Told me the exact same things about me, which freaked me out.
Really?
Yeah. They said I do have a sixth sense, so I am more receptive to experiences like that.
Okay.
And the one they both said that I have the energy of a little girl that follows me.
Do you see the little girl?
No, I don't.
They did though.
They did. They both said that you have the energy. That it could be your future daughter. It could be just something that's like attached to you.
You're a protector, maybe.
Maybe, or she's my protector, or whatever.
Wow.
But
okay.
the one. And this is when I worked at the bank. I was probably 23 or 24 years old at that point. So it's been about 10 or 12 years. And she said very clearly, I can see you, and I can see that little girl's energy around the corner behind that door frame, peeking out like she's playing a game. But she's very much attached to you.
Oh, wow.
And it was about a year later, we had a different one. Some friends took me to a psychic for my birthday, and she said something very similar, like you have this energy, and it feels like a little girl.
Is that what they do? Because it's different than like a tarot card reader. The psychics they do have some sort of sense with the outside.
And I don't know. I think so. But these are two very different things. One was a ghost hunter. One claimed that she loved to go be a ghost hunter and use dividing rods and all that. She had that sixth sense. But ever since then, man, it's always been in the back of my head. And I lived with a girlfriend for about 2 years in my old house, and she said she never felt comfortable in that house because like she always felt like there was like
someone watching,
like the presence of a female there. That was just very like an angsty, angry girl there that didn't want her there.
Yeah.
Possibly the same. I don't know, but she would always get freaked out like when it was just her, especially like early on. When it was just her there, like her son and I were out doing whatever. She would say that I just feel like that there's a presence here that just isn't comfortable that I'm here and doesn't want us here.
It does seem to me when I think about ghosts. It makes sense to me because you think that we, in the course of our lives, we gain experience, we gain knowledge, we gain insight that is built up inside of us, and there's an energy about us that when that body can no longer hold on to the spirit, that it's got to go somewhere. It seems to me. rationally that it's got to go somewhere. So why not become a ghost? Why not become a spirit that either walks the earth or maybe goes into the universe and goes somewhere else?
I could not agree more. It's like you said earlier, I believe across the board, ghost, demonic possessions, all that, and all that stuff. It's a weird fascination with me, and it freaks me out. And starting this podcast has led me to do a lot of other podcasts I've started listening to. I love the paranormal stuff. I can sit here while I'm working during the day and have it on in the background, and some of that stuff just freaks me out. But then I have to remember I can't think about it at night because my mind will start playing tricks on me, and it will be. I'll be up all night.
Would you ever do one of those go into an old building and with the ghost hunters?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, jeez. I
would love to. I had there's this old show on MTV back in the day, again 15 years ago, called Fear. And Fear was cool because they'd take like this group of kids and they would put them in this really haunted, either abandoned building or whatever else, and it'd be pitch black, and they'd have a flashlight and like a body harness with a camera on them, and they would be given tasks like, you have to go to the boiler room and sit here for 10 minutes and record in silence and record like what you hear or what you see. And it would freak these kids out and run. And it was such a cool show to me. Like, I always wanted to do that because it's a face your fear type thing for me.
Okay, yeah, I because I believe in them, I believe in the demonic possessions.
Oh, absolutely.
The only scary movie that I've watched in the last 10 years is Paranormal Activity 2.
Yeah.
And I've always joked that I believe in that stuff so much that I would never want to be possessed by a demon, because the demon would possess me, do all this nasty shit to people, kill babies, and then the demon would leave me and I'd be stuck holding the bag like, what the fuck happened? And they'd be like, oh, well, you just killed these 14 people and you broke their necks, and oh, now you're going to prison for the rest of your life. Like, what? I didn't do anything.
It wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
And
And because they're demons, they're going to do bad things. Like, you're not going to become a possession and then go save lives or go. The demons do bad things.
They do, and it's interesting you say that, because again, it comes to that fascination. I have a weird fascination with this stuff, and I had read that, and one of these past internet things, because the internet's never wrong. As long as you don't open yourself up to it, they tend to leave you alone because they're trying to get into you. But there's this legend, and it was on a podcast I listened to a few weeks ago about the black-eyed children. And I don't know if I talked to you about this. Did I mention anything?
Black-eyed children.
Yeah, they said it's the weirdest thing, and they said it's happening down south a lot.
Okay.
But it's essentially like late at night, like 9:30, 10:30 at night. There are kids that knock on your door and their eyes are completely blacked out. Like it's black. Where I can see your pupils and the whites, it's black.
Oh no! Okay, wow.
And they say that these kids knock on your door saying, "Please open up. I need help. We're out here. We're lost. We can't find a way. Will you help us?" And it's, "Will you let us in? Will you let us in?" And they say like their tone is very monotone. They don't get high. They don't get low, and they just knock until you open. And if you're by yourself, you open the door. They're trying to possess you. And if there's someone else in the house, they can say, "Get out, leave," and it breaks you the trance. And one of the documentations on this, you can see the hair on my arm standing up talking about it.
Oh, jeez.
They said a few minutes after, these kids knocked on their door for an hour and a half straight. They knocked on doors, knocked on windows, just asking, and they said their tone never changed. Let me in, let us in, help us, let us in. And about 2 hours after they left, about an hour after they left, white-eyed children came, the complete opposite, looking for those black-eyed children. And so this person's saying, it led me to research with this, and they found old written text or whatever that there's different levels of demonic possession or demonics, and the black-eyed are the lower level that are more angsty, and the white are almost like they're handlers, like I'm going to just get you back to where you need to be and leave people alone. Not good, not bad, but it's. I'll have to find the podcast to show you.
Yeah, I don't know about that, dude. That kind of sounds a little sketchy.
I don't know, man.
That sounds a little sketchy to me.
Yeah, but
and I'm a believer, but that sounds a little sketchy. Will you please let me? It reminds me of those two girls. Remember that commercial with the two twins that sit there? Will you come and stay at our house? What? No.
I'll find you the podcast, and you should just listen to make your own. It's just, if someone says it, it's one thing. If two people say it, okay, maybe they're talking. But if there's multiple reports of stuff like this, there has to be some validity to it.
Well, okay, so if you're a person who has a sixth sense, how do you tell, or if someone says, I don't believe in that stuff, like how would someone go about becoming more in tune with the spirit world?
I think either you have it or you don't. You know, I didn't, and that's it. I think some things you just can't explain. Sometimes you just have it. Sometimes you don't. I can't go out there and say, all right, Jason, I'm gonna show you how to get your sixth sense. They say we only use 10% of our brain.
Yeah.
So,
some of us maybe even less.
So, yeah, isn't that the truth? But a lot of people say that if you can figure out different ways to access different parts of your brain, you can open yourself up to having that ability to see or feel those different.
Have you ever wondered why a ghost stays on the earth, or why a ghost stays in a building, an old building, or stays in a place where they were maybe murdered or killed? Why a ghost stays there?
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if they feel like they're stuck there, they're being punished for what happened.
Or maybe they're searching for answers and they can't get the answers they need, so they stay.
Or if it's just the energy of that specific space and they're just repeating. Because I've heard there's ghosts that just repeat what they do. Like they're stuck in a cycle of repetition.
Ugh.
And they're not cognizant of you. You're not cognizant of them. It's just the energy that goes back and forth and back and forth and back and forth.
If you bought a house, and when you bought the house, you recognized that there were ghosts that lived, or spirits or demons or whatever that lived in your house, how long would you take before you said, I'm gone?
You know,
because you've bought this house, so you're now financially invested in this house, and it's really hard to do resale value when you have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 14 demon house with a great pool.
With a great pool,
you can't really
kicker.
You can't really sell that to someone.
You know, when I've talked to a few people about like how do you get rid of them, and one of them had the most basic answer, and it's worked, at least as far as I can tell, where if you feel like there's a presence there that you don't want there, you just tell them stop, go into the light. You don't belong here. Leave us alone. This is our home, not yours anymore. Just go to the light and be firm. And most of them will listen and go.
Okay.
And so that's the best way to treat it. I don't know anything about.
Like I think of that movie Poltergeist, where they were,
yeah.
They, for those of you who haven't seen it, it's a really great
80s. The old one, the Craig T. Nelson one, not the remake.
Oh, I didn't even. Yeah, no, I didn't watch the remake, but the old one was. I mean, it was believable to the sense that a lot of the stuff that was happening was mental. Like it was mental to them, so they made them see things that weren't there, and those demons. But they have the exorcist person who was trying to put the ghosts out and stuff. I guess I would try to look for someone to. I just think it would suck, dude.
Well, I think it depends on
what. It depends on what they are too.
Like, what's their level? If they're malevolent versus benevolent. If they're leaving you alone, you just hear them every so often, whatever. But if they're moving stuff from stacking chairs, it's time to get the sage. Burn that. Get a couple blessings. That's true though. They
burn the incense.
Burn the incense, and I need a young priest and an old priest. The power of Christ compels thee. Exactly.
Turn around.
Oh, it's all a very interesting topic to me. And you know, here in Kingman, we hear a lot of ghost stories too. We're next to Slaughterhouse Canyon, and the legend of Slaughterhouse Canyon has been around for 120 years.
Tell me, I don't know what
you know what the legend is. Well, you live right down the way from it, so
okay, yeah, I don't know what the legend is.
And Slaughterhouse Canyon is just a canyon down by the train tracks, and it's said that there's a woman and her 2 children that were coming through during the days of the wagon trains, and the woman went nuts one night and killed both of her kids. So she woke up and claimed she had no idea what happened. So she was put to death.
Yeah.
They cut her head off. And they say you can hear her screaming, looking for her kids through the canyon at night. Kingman's a very windy town sometimes too, so maybe it's just the wind blowing, who knows. But just legends like that. And if you search the internet and you see there's other documented stories. The Hotel Beale here is very haunted. The old Elks building. Yeah.
We went to Jerome this last year for Halloween.
I love Jerome.
And Jerome is supposed to have a huge Halloween environment. And so we thought, that'd be fun. Noreen loves Halloween, so we went to Halloween party up there. And we thought, well, maybe we'll see some ghosts, or maybe we'll see something. We didn't see anything.
Or did you maybe see it and not realize it?
We had drank a little bit, so it's possible.
And I just ask.
And I've noticed that alcohol doesn't quite help.
It doesn't help your senses.
Your pre-sensory notions of ghosts and stuff. I see a lot of vapors, but I don't see a lot of ghosts.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I see shadows every so often, and that's a big thing with ghosts. My old house, I used to see it all the time, and I just didn't think much about it. We'd be sitting there watching TV, and I would see a shadow down the hallway or whatever else, and that it freaks me out looking about it now. And I don't, I don't know what stirs that or what makes them, materialize, however you want to say it. I've never seen a full body apparition. I'm not sure I ever want to.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen
I think
a
if
full
I saw
body.
that, I might piss myself and like, all right, I gotta go. This is not the place for me anymore.
For the doubters out there, how do you answer someone who says that's just a figment of your imagination? That's just your mind is playing a trick on you. It's or in my dad's case, maybe my mind is trying to force a message.
Yeah,
that's not this. How do you answer a question or like when someone says that?
This goes back to like our conspiracy theory episode. Either you're a believer or you're not. Either I can't make you believe. You can't want to believe unless you really want to believe. I know it probably makes no sense right there, but you have to want to really.
We've said a lot of things on this podcast that don't make a lot of sense.
My brother's going to make a note on that and send this to me when we release that. Like, what the fuck does this even mean? And there's another.
It is what it is unless it isn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's another note right there. All right, he caught himself. He called me on the notes and he's fixed it. All right, so well done. You're an idiot, by the way. No, I don't know if you can make a non-believer believe. I think they have to have their own experience to believe. I honest to God believe that.
I watched a doc. It might have been a documentary. It might have just been a fictional movie. But these ghost hunters decided to go to the house of John Wayne Gacy. And they decided to try to find John Wayne Gacy's spirit because his spirit was there. And it didn't turn out well for any of the people that went into the house. John Wayne took care of all of them. Mm-hmm. And I figured it had to have been fake, but they did such a great job of producing this movie that I watched it, and it freaked me out. And by the way, if I'm going into a haunted house, I am not going into a dark basement where a bunch of murders were done and then just like be by myself down there with John Wayne Gacy's spirit. No way.
Not doing
and
that.
And they did that. The guy did that. He didn't come back. So what they do, they send another guy down there to try to go find him. Not good, man. Not smart.
Power in numbers. It's backdraft. I go, you go.
Yeah. You go, we go.
Yeah, it's
you
exactly.
Go, we go. That's
We're
right.
all going
That's
down
right.
together. Either we all get out together, we're all going down together. The whole concept.
And some of those documentaries, I mean, they actually get the spirits to talk to them.
Yeah,
like you hear
with the spirit boxes and
the spirit boxes and the voice recorders. You hear. I've never had someone talk to me, but you hear that, and
oh yeah, man. When I used to work at a local bank here, there's two buildings. There was the main building, which was haunted because there were two people that passed away in there. And it was
customers?
Not customers, employees.
Oh, employees.
At different times they passed away.
Wow.
And it was completely the building was built around a single wide. So it was all creaking and cracking, and you got that creepy feeling no matter what. And then there's the back building. And on Halloween, one of the people I worked with brought a psychic to the back building, and they went downstairs to the basement, and they said that there was just this guy dressed like from the 1880s, like a postman back there, just like trying to get the mail out. They said he was just one of those repetitive things I talked about, where he's just trying to get the mail and the slots and then everything ready to go. Didn't acknowledge the presence there, didn't do anything. They walked into another portion of the basement there and said there's completely just blacked out feeling, just freaked out. And they went upstairs. It was a 3-level building. And they went upstairs and they went to all the offices and they found some stuff, but nothing major. But they went upstairs to where the former owner of the bank had just passed. And they said the psychic walked into his old office because nothing was touched in that office at that point. They left it just the way it was.
Yeah.
And they said the psychic walked in, and he kind of like just jumped back from the window, or not the window, but the door. And my friend goes, "Well, what was that about?" He goes, "Someone just screamed at me, get out, like get out."
So he didn't want to be bothered.
He didn't want to be bothered, and so he asked permission to come in. He goes, "Can I come in?" Very politely. So at that exact same time, the printer kicked on, and this is 10 o'clock at night, and no one's in there except for them. The printer kicked on and started just pushing out blank paper right there. So,
wow.
Yeah, and so they said they up and they freaked out, and they were done that night. And there were 3 or 4 people that saw that there. So
well, and I told Noreen flat out, if I die before you and you start dating someone else, I will haunt you.
Yeah, well, that's
so
good.
Now this gives me a sense of
empowerment,
comfort to know that I have the ability to actually haunt someone.
Yeah, it should be. So you
know what though? I want to be a fun ghost, man. I want to be one of those ghosts.
Pranksters?
Not a prankster per se, but I want to be like a happy ghost, like where they look at you and go, "Man, Boy, that Jason must have been a cool cat, man.
That's just the ghost of Jason. You just put some bourbon out.
That must have been a cool cat, man. I like that guy. I don't want to be one of those kids that like just stares at you, you know, or comes at you with all that ghoulish look. I don't want to be that kind of ghost.
You want to be that. You want to be that ghost that like someone had this nice experience at the bar, talking to someone all night, and they didn't realize that you were never actually there. You're just that spirit.
Yeah, I want to be. You know what I want to be? When the guy's at the bar and he's having a tough time, you know, doesn't know what to say to the girl. I want to be the guy that like gives him the spirit to say, "Go talk to that girl, man. Have yourself some Liquid Kernedge, man."
You know, nice tie-in, and I hope that even in the afterlife, you're still pushing the podcast.
I love that, dude. Yeah. At Liquid Kernedge on Facebook.
I don't know if you'll actually have the Bob Marley sound from the Christmas Carol.
No woman, no crime.
Yeah, different. Yeah, nice combination of the Bob Marleys, by the way. But if you could be a ghost, where would you want to haunt? Like, would you want to haunt a bar or?
No, I don't think I'd want to haunt a bar. I mean, yeah, it'd be kind of cool to haunt a bar. I think it would be kind of cool to haunt like an old hotel.
Yeah.
You know, just because then you're seeing, because there have so many people coming in and out, you're not seeing the same people. Like, I would never want to haunt someone's house because then you're in their house all the time. You're seeing the same losers every day. I want to see new people.
This bitch, how can I fuck with her today? You know, I get that. So you want you want scenery.
Yeah, I want to like I would be one of those people like a normal resident in a hotel where the people come in and they come here to see Jason, the old ghost from the 2050s or whatever.
What makes me laugh with this is that you get to haunt someplace you've never been to. Like, and the ghost here is Jason, who never actually set foot in here as a live person, but wants to reside here in the afterlife. So he's here.
Yeah, wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah, you know, I think so.
Maybe you get pictures. You know, you could just like have a big chair, and the people come and get pictures with you, and then you just kind of like show up and go.
I think
like that. You give that like goofy look that you can't see on a podcast, but that like that.
I think you're.
And then they like put an arm around you, even though there's nothing there.
I think you're honest. You're honest to God. I'm listening to you trying to commercialize being a ghost.
I'm just saying.
You're trying to make a profit.
Where would you want to be a ghost if you were?
I don't know because now you're trying to profit off of it in the world.
No, I'm
you can't
trying to profit. I'm trying to. Once again, I want my spirit because I'm kind of a happy-go-lucky kind of guy.
Yeah.
I would want my spirit to be somewhere where it actually brings joy and to the people, like Jerome, how they have that hospital up there that's a hotel. I would want to do something like that.
Yeah.
Now, I wouldn't want to be like a scary ghost. I want to be one of those ones where they go, "Oh man, look at that guy! What a cool ghost, man! Look at him!" I'd be like just pointing at him with my finger. Just
this ghost is so helpful.
But smiling.
He took my luggage down from the room. He's such a helpful ghost.
No. Obviously, I don't have any weight. I can't lift anything at that point, but it's just a kind of a fun feeling.
Yeah.
I think it would be kind of cool, too, of a ghost if you pass through someone and they could feel your aura pass through them.
I would do that all the time.
Yeah.
I would be sending chills up and down people.
I don't know if I'd send chills, but like I said, you can get a spirit that's a warm... Why do you always want to be a scary ghost, man? I want to be a warm ghost.
I didn't say I was going to be a scary ghost. You asked and you got off on your own tangent where I'd want to be. I'd want to be in a dive bar. like
you want to have the one stool that's yours, and then every couple of days,
exactly.
You're like,
Someone just put that refill that shot of tequila. They come in at night like, why is it gone?
Give me a Coors Light.
Yeah, and the funny part is those mountains will always be blue. I will make sure those mountains are always blue.
Oh my gosh, you would too. Like, hey, this beer's cold. Whoa, the spirit just, holy crap! Look at the blue.
It's been sitting there all day. How is this even happening?
Yeah.
That's what I would do. You know, I'm like you. I would hope I'm not a malicious ghost.
Yeah.
But I do have some angst moments, so you never know.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, maybe I'm one of those ghosts happy-go-lucky until you piss me off. I like life, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I can bend. Once I break,
There's
you
no
might as
going
well.
back.
Yeah, you're dead to me.
There's no going back. That's true.
Wow. What a great way to end it. You're dead to me and ghosts. That's
wow. You'll never be dead to me.
Thanks, buddy.
You'll live on forever in my heart.
And you will live on these podcasts if you go to @Liquid Kernedge on Facebook.
Podbean and iTunes, which you found us by now. We need to find some other avenues to get this out, too.
Actually, we have gone on YouTube now, too. So
it's true, yeah.
We can go on YouTube. I mean, it's kind of a boring picture, but the podcast is still there. So
well, is that picture of me? Is that why it's boring?
No, it's our little...
Oh, it's
our picture.
It's our posed picture.
Yeah, so.
Jason's the good-looking one in that picture, so
No,
I'll let you decide which one that is.
I'm the nerd with the glasses. So,
oh,
yeah. So
I wouldn't go that far.
Scott's the velvety voice. I'm the punch in the throat. That's the rules. So.
Oh, it's not the rules. It's just the way it is right now.
Scott, that was a great episode, and The legitimacy of it, I know people are going to say, "Oh, that's a gimmick. You're just trying to promote ghosts."
No.
That wasn't a gimmick. That really happened. We were sitting there, and it stopped recording.
We're sitting in my office is the worst part, so I don't want to sit here and say that we're making this up. Yeah, Jason can't wait to pack up and leave, and I got to spend the rest of the day in here.
Scott, great conversation.
Hey man, thanks for indulging me in this fun conversation.
Nice, that was a nice one. I'm Jason.
I'm Scott.
And as always, if you never know what you want to say, just have yourself some Liquid Kernedge.